Good morning. It's the 20th of May, Tuesday, 11:30. I'm feeling a bit down, and I've been sort of sitting here wondering why. And I think it's to do with motorcycling. I've reached the age where I have to consider the issue of owning too much stuff. That one day people are going to have to get rid of, and also conserving what money I have and assets I have, so that I don't end up as some kind of poor relative begging from my children. I don't want to be a downer on everybody listening to this, but these things are an issue because at the moment I've decided the motorcycle that I have here where I live in Norway, while it's a beautiful 1939 Norton, it's a bit knocked about, but it's a real interesting piece of history. When it comes to practicality, it doesn't cut it. And so I went on a historic run of about 60 motorcycles a week ago. And a combination of the bike and my decreasing ability as a motorcycle rider meant that I was struggling to keep up some of the time. And it was pointed out jokingly to me that this was the case. It isn't that hurt me, but it's made me think about... I used to own lots of motorcycles, and I had got rid of most of them. But I'm now thinking of buying another one to replace this museum piece with something a bit more practical. It will still be a classic, but it will have proper suspension and a more powerful engine, so that I don't have to employ so much of my residual skills to drive it. There are lots of controls on this historic piece that I have to control the fuel mixture and all sorts of other things. I just want to be able to get on and go, and that is not the case with the one I have at present. And it feels like a bit of a turning point to realise this, because do I want to buy another motorcycle, which is going to be another chattel that people will have to get rid of in my end? Or do I just want to chill out and acknowledge the fact that I am not the rider that I used to be? And maybe I don't need to be a motorcyclist. I'm not sure. Anyway, this is a vlog, and that's just the first thing that I wanted to talk about. I have made some notes. My short-term memory is not the only... riding bikes is not the only thing that's starting to fail a bit, but my short-term memory too. So let's just look at my notes quickly. Here we go. Yes. Vlog. Voice leading instead of chord sequences. And the business of fake guitarists on the internet. Okay. Let's take the last one first. There's been a lot of discussion amongst the people that I tend to watch on YouTube and Facebook and other things, SoundCloud, about this guy Giacomo Turro, who's been caught by a YouTuber called Danny Sapko, a bass player. He's been caught stealing other people's music and presenting it as his own, and also using lots of faking techniques to portray his guitar playing skills as way better than they really are. And it's been confirmed by people like Rick Beato, who met the guy and said he just really couldn't play. So his career, which is as a very successful YouTuber, is crashing because he's a cheat. He's faking it up, and people are talking about how much are we all guilty of this. If you put a track out on any platform, you of course have the opportunity, if it wasn't a live recording, of overdubbing, of using multi-track softwares and making it sound really good, quantizing things, moving everything into time, removing bad notes, etc., etc. And I have done some of this while I was learning to edit. I was learning to overdub and mix. I mean, the mixing itself is a falsification of reality. The question is, does that matter? And that begs a question which comes before that is, what is it for? What is the music for that you're presenting anyway? If you're going to say, I want to present something which is near perfect for an audience, and I'm not going to claim that it's highly skilled playing because I have improved it post-production, in production and in mixing. And then, is that okay? Well, it really depends what you want, what you're making this thing for, this product. It will be extremely satisfying to do what some people can do, and that's sit down and in one take play the piece that you're happy to put out on platforms. My main platform is Patreon and YouTube. So I've been moving towards that in the last 12 months as my guitar playing has improved and my knowledge of music theory and how music is made has broadened. And so that brings me to the last point. Voice leading is something I've come across quite recently, and that is an alternative approach to the approach of saying, okay, I'm going to choose a sequence of chords to be the structure of my song or tune, and that sequence of chords will repeat for each verse or chorus. Instead of that, because you choose chords on the basis of like what's common, what's a 2-5-1 progression in jazz, or a 1-4-5-1 in blues and rock and reggae, and there are many others. To move towards voice leading, and voice leading is really it's not really about improvisation. It's about composition. And it's about moving the actual melody. It goes all the way back to the origins of music and monks singing plain chant. One voice singing a melody, other voices coming in to complement that, and forming chords almost by chance. And it's the way that people like Chopin and Mozart and other classical composers have written, and it's to start with the melody, and as the melody develops, the harmony develops too, because you decide what to do with the second voice and the third voice. So if the first voice is moving up a tone, and then a tone, and then a semitone, what do you do with the second voice? Does that move up or move down? And the sounds that happen simultaneously on a stave would be note, 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 a chord. Instead of deciding on a chord sequence, you write something and then you look at it and find out what chords actually were made by the piece that you've written. I find it very interesting. It's not the way that I make music at all, but it's something I want to kind of explore, alongside the attempt to not do overdubs, not do time and pitch corrections, and not do too much in the mixing, too much compressing and that sort of thing. Mainly for my own satisfaction, to feel more invested in, to feel more happy with, and to feel more ownership of what my music is. To know that I really played it all, and I didn't correct the bass line by moving the bass beats exactly under the bass drum beats and things like that, which is something I do when it's needed. Okay. Did I say right at the beginning I was feeling down? Yeah. So I'm kind of prone to depression, not bad depression, but if it was bad depression, you wouldn't even see me in front of the camera. And it seems to come in cycles. And so 2 or 3 times a year, I have a few days when I'm inexplicably down. I've written 1 or 2 poems about how that feels, kind of portrayals of, from the point of view of the person, from the point of view of me, what I feel and see and think when that happens. And I'm in one now. but only since this morning, and it may not last. I may come right out of it. And it usually happens in a time when I don't really have any serious worries and problems. And I don't have any serious worries and problems right now. Apart from getting older, apart from some health issues, but that's just the new normal. It's the new normal for everyone getting old. Everyone gets old. None of us have done it before, so we have to deal with it. It's the new normal. So I'm actually feeling better for doing this, which you might expect, for putting out a vlog. So I'm going to stop there and leave it at that. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.